All right, we will call to order a meeting of the Fairfield Library Board of Trustees at 7:03 p.m. on October 7th. First item of business is roll call. Starting to my left, John Classo. Cindy Rosari.
Here.
Mary Harrigan.
Here.
May Bayer.
Here.
And Peter Wilner, who is not in attendance. With that, we'll then open it up to public comment. Does not appear to be any in the room, nor on the web call. So with that, we will move to the approval of minutes. As mentioned in my email today, hopefully everyone saw, are there any questions or suggested edits to the minutes?
Yes.
Yes, Stephanie.
Thank you. Section 4, approval of minutes from the prior meeting by Ms. Borsari, not Mr. Borsari. Please. And it's section A, 8A, fundraising committee. The people in the meeting with me and May and Scott were Kathy Scoville, Vice President of the Friends, and Danielle Sharp, Director of Development for the Friends. I can give you this.
Yeah, May updates.
Okay. And then in that same section, third paragraph, can we just tighten up the sentence about a set of recommendations were agreed to that set expectations for the relationship? Can you just say something like the board agreed that the fundraising committee would present recommendations for the relationship between the Friends and the trustees? Does that work?
May, does it work just for you to tighten that language up? Perfect.
Thank you so much. That's it.
All right.
I got one under section 5, Chairman's report. When I was on the Falmouth Maine Board of Trustees, I served as treasurer president. It says chairman, chair of the board.
I just have one more. E on the last page, so is that 12E? Is that true? 12E. It should be Ms. Kerrigan will connect with Vanguard to see if it's ever
Yes.
And it was actually 330,000, is that correct?
Hey, while you're updating that one, 12E.
I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing.
Oh, Jan, turning down the microphone, huh? Huh?
The microphone, that's this one. How about now, Meg?
That's
May?
better. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, would you mind repeating that last one? 12B, did you
It
say?
is, it is 330,000 is for 12E, 330,000 rather than 300, and Vanguard instead of First County Bank.
Perfect.
And you caught that John was president, not chair of the board for section 5.
Section 5. Great. Thank you.
Right. Thank you everyone for that. With that, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that the Library Board of Trustees approve the meeting minutes from the September meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor? All right, there you go, May. All right, so moved. One other item I did forget to mention before we got into this. I'd like to make a motion to add the 2025 meeting schedule to the agenda under old business. Second.
Second.
All in favor? So with that, we will add at the end as new business item E, the meeting schedule for 2025. All right, keep my chairman's report brief. Not too much to update on since last time we met. continued engagement with the town. So, I know we got packed, especially with the summer reading, so I'll hand it over to Scott for library updates.
So September brought the return of our popular adult book clubs, both in and out of our building. National Voter Registration Day was done by the League of Women Voters and was a huge success. They got coverage on Channel 12 as well as getting about 19 people registered, which they said was a pretty high number for those cabling events. Children's Services put a twist on STEM programming and made it a family affair. They may have also been accomplices in the pieing of a Jennings principal. Teens are returning to the Down Under Room of Woods with school back, and teen council's back and ready to assist and advise on programming. The new fax machine at the main library is not only popular in person, but became a slight viral success with a Facebook posting. The staff continue to correct lingering issues with the ILS migration, but nothing that's really disrupted as much as we thought it would. The Fox mascot now has a name. It is Scout. Erin would know this because she was at the announcement with some really excited kids. Food Truck Festival was a success, and my DJ got a lot of compliments. So I was very happy about that. Website's nearly done. It's actually going to launch not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yes.
And things were quiet in both incidents and work orders. We had some kids playing tag on a hot day, and they admitted that they were playing tag on a hot day in the library, which I said that was they said it was because we had air conditioning. So, yeah, but they were all over the building. So it was an exciting day, but other than that, really no incident reports and not a lot of work orders. We've just been busy, Jan and I, in the administrative offices with RFPs and hiring and a new payroll system, which the town has begun to implement, has leaned on the library a little bit for advice, and it's going. I wouldn't say it's going smoothly, but they've been good at pivoting, but it has affected us a little bit in terms of work. That's it. Okay, any questions? Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Tara, our head of Children's Services, who's going to talk about summer reading.
Jan, can you share my screen?
Just, you just share your screen, the one on the top left.
So share that, and then.
Bottom right, share.
I did.
No, bottom right.
Oh, this year.
Then pull up the.
The camera. And then present, which is, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Oh. Present. And then down at the bottom, the purple bar.
All right, Summer Reading Challenge 2024. We definitely won the game. I am Tamara Lynn, Head of Children's Services. I'm so happy to be here. I'm just going to talk real quick. We can go to the next slide, please. About why we do summer reading. Just a reminder, I said it last year, I'll say it again, because it's fun. And why is that so important? We're just here to push books, right? Fun is part of encouraging a growth mindset. We help develop bigger brains by encouraging our kiddos to participate. They take risks. We keep them engaged all summer long in a safe to fail environment. So it's okay to come to the library, have some fun. Maybe things didn't work out. You're going to try again the next time. There's no repercussions, right? I was recently at an overnight with Girl Scouts at the Sikorsky and in Stratford over there. And one of the facilitators actually really was pushing the growth mindset. So we're really onto something there. Also for summer, the number of books read during summer break has a significant impact on your child's reading proficiency. For the K through 5th graders, reading at least 5 books is going to help them retain what they've worked so hard all year long to get. And then if they were to read over 9 books during the summer, they might even improve those skills. And then of course, learning without realizing, right? They may be learning to develop skills that are related to literacy, such as working on their phonic awareness. They may be becoming an expert on the red box, or just really reading for pleasure. And pleasure helps foster empathy and develop those social emotional skills while encouraging creativity and reducing stress. Next slide. So let's talk about our summer reading challenge. From this snapshot, you can see the program continues to grow. We had 2,052 kiddos register, which is about a 6% increase from last year. And to put it in context, this number represents about 50% of all of Fairfield K through 5th school population. So we're doing pretty good. And our data shows that all age groups continue to see increases in participation. Now let's turn to an overview of the basic structure of how summer programming works. By reading and participating in activities, children earn points, badges, and additional raffle tickets toward the end of summer prizes. The level up stickers that you see over on the left side encourage families to return to the library often. So they get a sticker for every 100 points. Earning a sticker each time. And at 500, they received a genre tag. So they could pick what their favorite genre or a general one. There were different shapes. It was fun. At 1,000 points, they walked away with that handy dandy lawn sign and a certificate of completion. And then the bonus level was the fox. So that was a huge sell. Also that the picture that you see right there, that was at 1,500, and then this book plates, which kids could not be more excited about. This has been years going and it's going strong. Raffle prizes included STEAM bundles along with experience prizes led by library staff. So that was like a slime party or a Dragon Masters event based off a popular chapter book. So next slide. We're going to dig into some numbers. You can see many categories saw improvements this year. We had 826 children finish the challenge, up 20% from last year. Children were considered finished when they reached that 1,000 points. 1,312 readers completed activities, a 32% increase from last year. Activities included programs with library staff as well as those found in Beanstack's weekly challenges. The activities encouraged the children to participate online and offline endeavors. For example, they could write a book review in Beanstack and they'll get bonus points, or go outside and do our story walks at both the Woods or the main branch library. We made it to almost 1.5 million minutes read, which is a 25% increase, and almost a 1.7 million points earned in the challenge, which is also up from last year. So great numbers, looking good. One metric that really stands out is the increase in reader engagement, and we felt it. It was busy, busy, busy. We saw a shocking increase in the number of readers finishing the challenge, as well as those who made it to the bonus level and earned the Fox Study. We know the Fox was a great incentive for many participants that drove them to continue to read and pursue their goal. It was an expensive item, but we had a lot of feedback that it was the factor in participation and engagement. We even had to order additional Foxes to meet the demand as the kids rushed to achieve this level in the final week of the program. So the next slide. So children can earn those points by attending activities, and we provided a wide variety of programming options for them to choose from. Total program attendance was up by 14%. Here are some pictures that you see on the screen, and some examples of our early literacy programs we offered. We had our Touch a Truck program, which was the third time that we've done that. It's always well received, very exciting. The police, fire department, DPW come out. Children participate in a story time, and then they have an opportunity to explore the trucks. Some got to use the hose for the fire. It was pretty exciting. We also partnered with Fairfield Museum and Parks and Rec to offer story times outside. And of course, we offered our regular story times inside. We invited Julie Stepnick in to teach ukulele to the 2nd and 5th graders, which was so much fun, and entertain our preschoolers that with the music. She was very popular and very engaging. We provided families and kiddos grades K through 5th with a variety of programs such as Foxtastic Thursdays, where they sang and they crafted and they did some STEAM stuff and they played some games. We did rock painting here at Woods. There was a Lego club. We played with some paper mache. There was interactive movie nights for families. We had book buddies, which was a really great program where teen volunteers came and read with first, second, and third graders that tended to be more struggling readers, and they did an activity and they really created a nice sense of community. And then our ever so popular escape room was back here at Woods. We offered a new story and setup in which 150 people helped solve the masterpiece box art mystery. We continue our tradition of hosting school nights where each school was recognized and everyone who played book bingo walked away with a coupon to enjoy a pantry cookie or paletta from Dave's. These school nights attracted big crowds and helped kick off the summer with enthusiasm. They were usually hosted the first 2 weeks of summer reading. Every night, me and Miss Stephanie are there playing book bingo, and it's just a lot of fun and high energy. Next slide. In addition to all these active programs, we also offer a range of weekly self-directed activities. Children enjoyed our dozens of bonus activities: Find the Fox, What Does the Fox Draw, Code Breaking, everyone's favorite scavenger hunts. If the kiddos completed 2 activities, they got to pick a prize from the prize sheet or prize box. It was pretty exciting. For families who were unable to make it to our weekly programs, our working parents, we also offered our DIY kits that we put out for pickup every Saturday at both libraries. And patrons took those, and that was and we were assuming completed them. 1,200 DIY kits were prepared and left the building. Next slide. The result of all these amazing programs and activities is that patrons visited the libraries in droves. This summer, we had record-breaking visits. Children's door count was up 24% versus last summer, and children's made up 81% of the entire library's door count for June, July, and August across both libraries. There were some Mondays where I couldn't leave until about 6 o'clock at night. These are staggering numbers that demonstrate how we have become a key destination for Fairfield families that help drive overall library usage. Not surprisingly, our summertime circulation is also up by 5%. This is a natural result of all the participation we saw, and another factor of this result was driven by the Summer Reading Incentive Checkout Challenge, which invited kiddos to take a book or other material in the library to earn some extra points. Next. All these numbers certainly illustrate the success of our program, but we also conducted a qualitative patron survey that further underscores these trends. We had 141 completed surveys, and patrons expressed that they felt welcome, they enjoyed taking part in activities, they learned something, and time and again, patrons reported how positively they felt about the summer experience, and in many responses, we heard the same refrain, which was the staff are absolutely amazing. And I wanted to, y'all can take a minute maybe after and just read a letter we received from one parent about how amazing she felt the whole program was and the staff, and that we've helped create a lifelong reader. Next slide. So what was the secret of summer 2024? We attribute it to several factors. Of course, the staff, full and part-time. It takes the whole group to make it happen. Our outreach, we brought our roadshow to the 11 elementary schools, performed 22 times. We worked with Fairfield Public Schools by bringing the roadshow. We were invited to enhance the summer enrichment program where Miss Emily and myself worked weekly for 4 weeks, serving 130 kiddos and doing 520 activities with them. We targeted early learners. We visited some childcare facilities and did story time for them while promoting our summer program. We worked with the public schools again to give them information when the kindergartners were coming in about summer reading as well as library cards. Our partnerships, we partner with local organizations, the museum, businesses, utilize social media, all to drive traffic into the library. The Fairfield Museum, where we had 917 people join us for our Wednesday story times. Wednesday and Saturday story times really have become a beautiful partnership, and we're just so excited about that. And of course, the Friends and all their support. There's some images of all our accomplishments. I'd like to point out all the decorations are made in-house by one of the staff members, part-time staff members, Lisa Kwan. She does amazing work. She's helping us do our life-size Candyland that we're going to be doing in just 2 weeks. She's doing a lot of the decorations for that. Over there, you can see Sing and Stomp on the Sherman Green. We've got some Swifty bracelets up top. Our summer is a sprint from start to finish, and I could not deliver the success we have seen without all these amazing staff members I have. Okay. So how does it all tie into our strategic goals? I think you'll agree. We met all our goals this summer. All 274 children's programs we offered enriched the participants' lives, supported them in learning something new. We expanded our digital library and presence through Beanstack, which is our online tracking app. As I previously mentioned, our Touch a Truck Summer Series, we partnered with town departments to bring those vehicles to the Woods Branch Library. And when we do programs at the Fairfield Museum and Sing and Stomp outside at the Sherman Green or the Farmers Market, we're expanding our reach and often marketing our services to new individuals. We also nurtured our relationship with the Fairfield moms, and they helped with marketing our offerings and expanding our reach. And of course, we're already planning for next year. It's going to be level up at your library. As for things we'll work on, maintaining these high numbers will be challenging, but of course we want more circs, more library cards issued. We're hoping to bring in some new users. And we'll keep working on that. Oh, that's all right. That's just what's next. What are some hopes and dreams for us? We have a vision of what our library can look like. This is an example of some storybook-based interactive displays that I would love to see at both Woods and the main library eventually. We're talking with Scott about doing a mural on the hallway someday, and maybe getting an intern for summer to help out with all these numbers. And we're always exploring some new ideas, and we are always looking forward to supporting our families here in Fairfield.
That is fantastic, Cameron. Those numbers are amazing.
We felt it for better or for worse.
I guess the question is, one of the last comments you made, getting an intern for the library, what sort of support from town, from how can we help?
I think it's just targeting it in a way in which we can get the local college that has the MLS program, MSIS, right, whatever they're calling it this week. With the idea of they're trying to get it done in the semesters, but we're really looking for somebody who's going to want to do it over a summer semester. So that's the hardest part is I think we need to get together and kind of do a job description, send it to them, and then market it that way. And are they allowed at Albany? They're not allowed to be paid for their internships that go towards credit.
I'm not sure. We'd have to ask.
So that's at another library I was at. We offset the cost of because you have to pay. You have to pay to be an intern, which is insane to me. But if it's for a credit, yeah. So what we did in Albany for another program was the stipend we gave pretty much covered the cost. So that's something that I think maybe we could reach. We know somebody over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was gonna say,
we've gotten in over there. So I think you and I should give our friend over there a call and see what would be kosher and not, and then go from there.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, any support, you know. Kids are a lot.
Yeah. it was a
No,
great
these
start.
numbers are, they're fantastic. No, I don't like to talk about it. So
Okay.
this is wonderful. Great growth numbers, very exciting. Is it possible to share that presentation with the board?
Sure, yeah. I'll download it and send it to.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, just a nice thing to have. Very nice, it's very nice looking as well, so.
Canva's very helpful.
It's the kind of thing, it's always great to share those kind of successes with the community and have
Yeah,
that.
how do we publicize that? I don't want us to be the only people that get that.
On social media?
Yeah,
We've talked about it.
yeah, we've done some, so what we're trying to do is do some before, like, they just did some promotion of it, but we wanna wait a couple months because you wanna promote it as the discussion around budgets happening. So I know that's a little Machiavellian, we talked about it,
Yeah.
but it's really, I mean, our children's programs, and there will be a little bit of an ask in the budget
Mhm.
related to children's programs. So we need to time it just right, so that by the time we get to the finance board, they've heard multiple times about how amazing our program is. Where the board could help us out is if you're getting compliments from members of the community. Don't write me, write the select person. So someone someone your neighbor or someone in your friends group, someone who's just mentioning, I know they're mentioning out there, if they are, say to them, could you do me a favor, put that in writing to the selectman's office? That would go, that's our first, really, it's our first and second step in the
Yeah.
budget process. That's helpful. Every elected official has told me that they want to hear from the public. So that would be something I think the trustees could really, and the friends could really help with doing. And the friends have done it before in the budget process. If they want to hear more grassroots.
Yeah.
But we will be promoting it. Just we don't want to do it right now because this is when September is when things will fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
You really kind of want to do a little bit now, like around November, but then really wrap it up in January, February, then it's other months for budget.
The other thought, since we're launching the website, start trying to do that, just to have some high level numbers there. Since we want people to come there, learn about that, and then you see it.
That's a good idea.
As we go through, just, that's the kind of stuff that I understand why you're gonna do. It's good for everyone to have that back in mind. Yeah, and we'll encourage people as we talk through that to write to the selectmen, talk to whoever they know on the Board of Finance. To support that, so that's great. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, everyone.
You too. It's fantastic.
We ran out of foxes.
We did, I had to buy 200
Yeah.
more.
Her staff were very good and very quick in getting them.
I have to say, that was these numbers from the previous year, so I'd already had it. I just moved through them.
Right.
Thank you.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Oh, Trustees.
And the mom's not gonna be mad.
I think the moms were.
I know, but that was some difficult start with that.
Keeping it fire safe.
I know. Did you ever see it? This one does it. Stuff like that.
Last quarter of town, I just laughed. That's how I know I'm still in Fairfield.
Scott, do we want to talk about things coming up?
That's changed.
Okay, so, as Tamara had mentioned, the big thing for the children's department is the life-size Candyland game, which was filled pretty much the day that it was, the registration opened up. But there are some evening sessions available as well, and I don't know if they were trying to figure out a way to offer more. Teens their after-hours event this fall is gonna be a murder mystery. Sounds like a lot of fun. And adults have a special event with Tommy Silk's book launch. If many of you know Claudia Silk, this is her son, and he has a Instagram called Landmarks of New York. I don't know if any of you follow, but it's fascinating. He goes all around New York City and tells the history of particular buildings and is coming out with a book related to that. So that's October 28th. We've had a huge registration, so that's going to be on the main floor. What else is happening? Working on the RFP, which we hope to get out this week, and the website is a big thing.
Fantastic. Get to that in a moment. All right. Next item of business is the policy review, which everyone should have found in the packet. It's not for voting today, just for everyone to review the privacy and confidentiality of library records. We adopted it back in December of 23. Just got anything of note. Since it is recent, this is just part of our annual review of policy. Just take a look at it between now and next meeting. Come with any questions or comments that you have of this, and we can discuss at the following meeting. But now is not the time to review. So, moving forward, we now have our committee/liaison reports. First up, fundraising committee, which is Stephanie Bersard.
Ray, unless you have anything, I don't have anything to update with regard to fundraising.
No, me neither. And I did see Scott's note about meeting to discuss the gift acceptance policy, so we can touch base separately on that.
Yeah, we can just touch on that real quick when we get to that in business. One question I did have relates to that is Foundation Center. We did cancel that, correct? Good. Just wanted to make sure that was just something I thought of.
This should be the last charge.
Good. Building committee, we did not have a chance to meet, unfortunately. It's been a crazy month for me, but we'll be trying to set up some time this coming month. I'll reach out, talk to you, and talk. Privately. And then I will hand it over to a new attendee of the meeting for the Friends of the Library update.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. If I haven't met everybody, my name is Mike Foley. I'm the incoming president of the Friends Board. It's a real honor to be here tonight. It's been a great journey on the Friends Board for my wife and I. We joined in about 2016 or so. My wife and I are Fairfield residents for 30 plus years. Our children grew up within these four walls. And after they left to go to college and become great young women, we really wanted to give back. And we settled on the idea of becoming friends. And Jennifer's been doing her biannual fashion shows and donating money for years now. Jennifer and I kept thinking of some way to do something impactful as far as dollar figures go. And we hit on the idea of a food truck festival back in 2017. And it was a big success right out of the gate. This past one was a success, but we're at a turning point with the food truck festival. After the early years with the big numbers, the numbers have been trending down. And I think the reason why is events that feature food trucks have become so ubiquitous. You see them with the Oktoberfests and whatnot, that it's not a unique enough event to draw the same kinds of numbers that we saw in the early days. We had about 2,000 people this month, and many of them are children that we let in for free, and we're happy to do that because the story hour was a big success. As Scott can tell you, seeing those kids sitting on a blanket being read to was wonderful and gratifying. But we're at a turning point, and I've got some ideas to sort of boost attendance up a little bit. It involves entertainment. But things like that rely on sponsors.
You know what I've heard from a few people, not to interrupt you,
Please do.
because telling them I went to the festival.
Yes.
I guess a few years back, it was very crowded, and I had probably at least 4 different friends say, I was going to go, but I was worried it was gonna be too
Yes.
crowded. And I don't know how you solve for that,
It's
but,
an interesting
Yeah.
conundrum because that first year, we didn't know what to expect.
yeah,
The reason it was so successful is that there really wasn't a similar event at the time. So it was strangely enough, it was a problem to have the number of people that we did.
Yeah.
Because the trucks ran out of food, the lines were too long. It was a success monetarily, but we had to reassess how we were doing things. So we simply just went to the trucks and said, listen, what do we do different? And they said, you know, we don't want to come if there's too many trucks, and we don't want to come if there's too few, because then it gets too crowded. So we've settled on this sort of happy medium where we have the right amount of trucks for the right amount of people, but the end result is we're not raising the same amount of money. And we either become happy with $6,000, or we change it and get back up to the $15,000 to $20,000. And I like the $15,000 to $20,000. So, but sponsorships have always been a little difficult to come by. If the idea that I'm talking about with Jennifer comes to pass, I think we might be able to do that as well as keep people happy. You know, so I think if you talk to people there on September 22nd and said, "Did you enjoy yourselves?" we would have had a resounding yes, and we did. And because it was a good vibe, it was good weather, people easily got their food, the trucks were happy, everyone was happy, and I was too. But we need to get back to the big money. So, you know, we're always consistently looking for new ideas coming from anyone and anywhere. And, you know, we do great events. September is a very busy month for us. We had our annual meeting. We had the author event at the meeting, the food truck festival. We had Jen's fashion show. You know, we had the sip and support thing at the Lissa Brewery. So, you know, we have no shortage of wonderful events, but I remain focused on that Grand Slam. And that's what I intend to focus on during the 2 years that I'm president. I really want to see impactful ideas. I want to see them executed well. And I would want to really funnel our efforts into making things better and bigger as best we can. So, and that's with this board's support is always appreciated. And we've got a great group of friends, and I'm looking forward to the future. So, any other questions, any concerns? I appreciate your input. Thank you. But yeah, we had a great day. We really did. It was a lot of fun. You know, the previous year was rained out. The year prior to that was cold and windy. And it's the kind of event where if you step outside your front door and it doesn't feel right, then you stay home. You don't sell tickets to this thing. But you know what I have in mind. I don't want to work with it, but I'd like to get your input on this. Was years ago I worked for the arena in Bridgeport, and this was when American Idol was touring, and I created a karaoke contest on McLeavy Green in downtown Bridgeport, and tied into American Idol. I got some money from Live Nation to do it, but we created a full-on karaoke contest with celebrity judges downtown in Bridgeport, and we had so many people sign up for it. We had quasi-professional singers, we had kids, and we had a blast. So we've done bands before at the festival. It's fine, but I think that community engagement portion would do well with what I'm pitching to the board soon is a karaoke contest. Thoughts?
I mean, I think you mentioned from an engagement perspective, yeah, that's actually, see my kids wanting to see that.
And what I need is I need a stage, and I need a good PA. And the software to do it, and then we're good to go.
Yeah.
And it's simple, then I just need to promote it and do a kind of a pro level and then an open category where kids, community people, anyone that's ever wanted to sit in front of 2,000 people and sing can just do it. And then I also need prize money, so.
Yeah.
If I can find the
Sounds
right
like a-
sponsor, yeah, no, I thought, I told Jennifer, she was like, Jennifer Butler's my wife, by the way, so when I keep saying Jennifer, that's why. So when I told Jennifer about it, she was intrigued, Scott was intrigued. So it depends, I haven't brought this to the board yet, but hopefully they'll go back.
Definitely something that we get, I feel like, word of mouth in the community as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to get people aware.
Right.
Or another, reason to come out, as you said, like,
Yeah, for sure.
out the door, if it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Right, that's, yeah.
And it's funny because the other idea I had was about 2 years behind behind the times. I went to Anthony at Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec has always been a big supporter of our efforts, and they waived a lot of their fees and whatnot. They really helped us out. And I said, Anthony, can I do a pickleball tournament? He's like, Mike, we're announcing that in about a month. God damn it. So, that would have killed, that really would have killed, so I had to move on from that idea. But, yeah, all I really want from the board is, from the Friends Board is just continued enthusiasm, This is a book town. These are book people who live in this town. And the board loves that, I'm gonna start off every meeting saying, what are you reading this morning? Hold it up, share the list with us, because that's what we're here for. We're here to support reading, we're here to build support for the libraries, and, however we end up doing it, infusing some passion in the system, then great, so.
Fantastic.
Andrew, may,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, those sound like great ideas. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with, and congratulations on becoming new president.
Thanks, appreciate that.
I just had a quick question suggestion. Would you consider selling tickets in advance somewhere like Eventbrite? And if the weather, saying, in case of inclement weather, your ticket price becomes a donation. And that way you
Yeah.
sort of know in advance a little, have a better idea of how much.
Yeah, in years past, we have done some pre-ticketing efforts here at the libraries. It doesn't generate a ton of tickets. The event is not unique enough that it would draw a lot of advanced tickets.
Got it.
If we did a big band,
Mhm.
yes, but I don't have $300,000 to throw at Southside Johnny and Asbury Jukes and take them away from the Oyster Festival. Yeah, it's a good point, May, but I just don't think it's a unique enough draw to do advanced ticketing on that.
Right.
And you run the risk of, then what if you do get rained out, and all the people want their money back? It's just, so.
Right.
This is a bootstrap, kind of idea that we have. And we're always looking for other ideas. And I think Don Cahill hit on something really fun, and that was that link to, that was the effort involving the Broadway show Water for Elephants. And I think there's room for growth there. I think if we can again partner with tickets to a Broadway show and build a little more emphasis on that, it's really hard to promote things in this town. The media landscape has changed dramatically over the last 10, 15 years. It's somewhat difficult to get attention from people who, spend most of their time on their phone consuming information. How we reach them is always a challenge. And I think that's what didn't help the Water for Elephants participation rate, but it's a great idea because it's Broadway. So if we can continue to make that a ongoing fundraiser, which I want to do, I think that's got potential as well. So all these little things are building blocks to success, and I certainly don't want to talk as if the food truck festival is our cornerstone.
If frozen.
Oh,
Can you hear us now, May?
you're muted, May.
We can't hear you.
Yeah,
David can hear
Thanks, David.
us.
We don't know
yeah,
what
yeah,
happened.
you froze.
Right, Meg, you're
Oops,
on
and
mute.
I'm on mute. Okay. Sorry about that if that was something on my end.
No, it was something on our end,
Okay.
but
I did have one other question.
Sure.
I know, Scott, we had sort of talked really briefly about the idea of doing a gala. Is that something that would be technically hosted? Obviously, it would be a joint effort, but technically hosted by the Friends or by the library or by the board?
I think that's something that needs to be an ongoing conversation, because my proposal is to do it around our 150th anniversary. So in my report somewhere is our 150th anniversary will be,
December 27th, 2026.
thank you, December 27th, 2026. Wouldn't do it around that time, but
That year.
December's a nice time to do a gala. So I keep pushing for the Friends, so I think that's an conversation that needs to happen. So I just threw that in there with a little seed.
Great.
Scott, I went to the Richard Osman book signing in New York. I said, hey, Richard, do you want to come to Fairfield anytime soon? And wave your fee. He didn't kick me out. I didn't say no, so.
Well, that's awesome.
any other questions? Comments? Website redesign, anything beyond the fact
So
that
we're gonna launch on the 9th. I am gonna, it's not 100% done, but I will send an email now to all the board members for you to look at it later with the idea that it is not completed. I was hoping that most of it would be done today, but there's some stuff they need to do behind the scenes. So look for an email later tonight with a link for you all to look at.
great, I'm really excited about that. All right, with that, we'll move on to the treasurer's report. Aaron did send that out in advance of the meeting, right before the meeting, so
About 5 minutes in advance.
you wanna just talk through it?
Yes, and I noticed that I didn't change the month in the first bullet. But anyway, there's not much of an update this month because the funds are pretty equivalent to where they were at the end of August, about a month ago. So we're hovering about 10.1 million, which is just under 14% up since the end of the year. So good news overall. One thing I did want to point out is I talked to our advisor at Mercer regarding the additional account if we wanted to open one
Yes.
for the $330,000, and easy enough to do. They'll put it under the same umbrella as the Fairfield Public Library accounts. Everything will remain the same. We'd have the same portfolio split that we have now, no additional fees. I haven't requested the paperwork yet. I was waiting for this meeting. I don't know if we need to make a motion to approve this, or if this is something we can go ahead.
I mean, we'll need to make a motion to approve that. If you wanna, do you wanna add that to new business back end?
Sure.
To make a motion to add that to new business?
I will make a motion to add the decision to open a new account at technically Vanguard, managed now by the Mercer Advisory Team, to be able to separately track the donation made by a former patron.
I'll second. All in favor? Right, So maybe we'll add that to new business, so we do have 2 items to add to new business. All right, anything else, sorry?
No, that's it.
Okay. Hopefully everyone had a chance to review the reconciliations and check registry, in advance of the meeting. Are there any questions, comments?
I just want to mention a couple things here. The towards the bottom, after mouse, the play interactive table bundle, that may or may not be a pass through. I put it on here just in case, but the Friends may pay directly for that without going to us. I had asked that they do that because of time, but then the time went by anyway, so. And the other significant thing is the Intrepid. We've only had that pass at Maine for a number of years, but it's so popular and it gets asked for a lot. And we had money that for something else that we canceled, so we decided to get it for both locations. Those are the big expenses on here.
Best pass.
I actually do have a quick question. I hope it's quick, and it's probably because I've missed something. But on the reconciliation report, back of, which one is this? Well, there's a zero deposit that hasn't cleared since June 11th, 2024. Date June 11th, uncleared deposit or other. Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, so I reissued that check recently, and that's why it's
Oh.
listed as zero, because it was voided during the time of this reconciliation. That's a great question. If you see on the first page that there was check 1847 was cleared.
Yep.
Which was the replacement.
And that's what confused me, because I saw her twice.
Any other questions? All right. Do we have a motion to approve?
I move that the library board of trustees approves October reconciliations and check registry.
Second.
All in favor? All right. So moving on, we'll go to old business, the gift acceptance. Oh.
So there's a memo in the back of the packet, which will go through all of these items. I figured since I write these up anyway, I might as well
Yes.
share them with you. So, and that makes Lori's life a little
Yeah.
easier.
And yeah, hopefully everybody had a chance to read through that memo. Any questions with regards to gift acceptance? The direction that we are planning on proceed, or, the recommendation that Scott's recommendation on this.
We've just been getting a lot of people who want to give money to the library, but they want who they're giving the money for to be recognized in one way or another. There's a couple different avenues we can take with this, but Jan and I both felt after we were approached a few times that this needed to be a trustee thing and not just something that,
Yeah.
We're choosing. We want to make sure it looks equal, equitable, and we're treating everybody the same way and just have a process and a policy.
Yeah. So I think the recommendation is, as laid out in Scott's memo, is to have a fundraising committee take a view of this, provide back feedback on the gift acceptance policy as to how we want to proceed with this. Obviously, because you guys are having conversations with friends as well as involving this, the gifts, things like that, that you have your take on it as fundraising. So Stephanie, I would ask just to kind of lead on that.
Sure.
To
This is the funding memo relates to this? Is this funding memo relates to the
They're frozen again.
Yes, I know. The first time I thought it was me, but I guess not.
Yeah, no, I saw you move.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully they come back
Oh,
again.
there we go.
Oh, Now they're completely disconnected, it looks like.
So loud.
That's just what I did, yeah.
See where it says stop video, Jan? On the bottom one?
Yeah.
That arrow, click that little arrow. Meeting out camera. There you go. See the loud one. All right, Megan, can you hear us all right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Sorry for the interruption there. So we will, are we, it is recording, right? Oh,
Yeah, it's recorded.
Just making sure. So we'll have the fundraising committee take a view of the gift acceptance policy as it relates particularly to, you know, with this in reference, the different purposes for each of those, for different donations, and spend. So we'll review next month and aim to vote next month if we're in a position to. Otherwise, we just want to make sure we're handling it the right way. Aaron, anything you want to throw in, just, you know, knowing you just recently had the conversation with Mercer about the additional fund, anything you want to call out?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think they're very responsive. If there's any questions we have from them, you know, we could always get a very quick response. They'll jump on the phone.
They were really good.
Yeah, just thinking like those, you know, in cases purpose driven or specific for donations made for a specific purpose. Just a process there potentially. I don't think we want to do that very often. It was
Yeah, I mean,
significant.
this one's significant. I do think we should have certainly a minimum before we open additional accounts.
Yeah.
Because it could get out of control.
Yeah.
But
So we received a gift of stock over the last month.
yes,
And it appears to me that they opened another account because I got 4 statements like this, the Memorial, the Jennings,
oh, I can't get on.
revolving, and
I
then
was like, oh, I'll go check right now. I can't get on. Did they open another account?
It looks,
I didn't fill out any
it
paperwork.
appears that way to me.
Unless it's just the way they have to handle it when they
Yeah, I don't
physically
know.
get the stock.
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
Interesting.
It probably,
it seems like they called it endowment or something.
Oh, yeah, endowment account.
Huh.
Yeah, I can certainly reach out to him tomorrow and ask.
Yeah, thank you.
I think when I was in one of the conversations with them, I did mention that we may be asking the board to set it aside. So maybe they just did it based off of that, I don't know.
Yeah, or the way they have to
And,
handle it when stock comes in.
yeah,
If they didn't sell it, right?
I don't think so,
They
yeah.
probably had a-
Yeah.
Yeah, probably holding it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be, particularly as it relates to fundraising, be crucial for us moving forward, so. Yeah, we'll go back to that, next month. All right, now moving into new business. Scott, you just.
so, yeah, and I didn't put the example in the packet, my apologies. I'm just asking for permission to draft purchasing policy for the board, one that kind of sets thresholds on what's spending. We have a budget, we have our pass-through, but I think it's certain size expenditures should get the approval of the board before we move forward with them. I think that'll just tighten things up, and I think it'll answer some of the questions about, you'll always approve the check registry, but we have those additional little purchases that are done with the purchasing card.
Yep.
I think that'll kind of handle it as well. We just had Connie, who's the auditor for the town. She was with us looking at your account for a good 2 days. So they're gonna come back with some suggestions. Some of those suggestions we've already rolled in and we let her know. But I think there's gonna be additional, but I do think a purchasing policy that sets certain thresholds for purchasing, I think that would be prudent to do.
So anyway, we have to vote on you giving you permission to
No.
draft it. Does anybody have any questions regarding what the purchasing policy? We can obviously discuss once we get the policy in front of us. Moving on to the strategic plan. So some of us, Aaron, were you around when we did the strategic plan? So apparently just me was around when we did the strategic plan last time. We did use Maureen Sullivan, who was great. Works well with the staff.
Who is Maureen Sullivan?
So Maureen Sullivan, give her a quick CD.
So Maureen Sullivan's she's a current advisor. She was president of ALA, president of Connecticut Library Association. She was the interim state librarian for Connecticut. She actually does a cohort for smaller libraries, helps them do the strategic plans on their own. I actually work with her a lot on the CLA side of my life. She's just a dynamic, incredible person to work with, who really understands libraries, really understands the direction libraries need to go. And we have a really great strategic plan. We don't really want to change it that much. And going through the process of doing an RFP and asking to get all these consultants, input, and then go. Jan and I right now are RFP'd out. So, I just think it might be smarter. We can do that you can do that as the trustees. You don't have to go through that process. I just think it would be, we had a great experience with her. She's pretty amazing. If you look her up, if you just do Maureen Sullivan Libraries, all her whole CV will come up. She's pretty great to work with.
Yeah, we made a pretty significant update to the strategic plan. We did this previously. There was a lot of work that was done to get it to where it is right now. I think, as we saw with Tamara's presentation, much of it still rings very true in terms of our aims for the library. I do think it does make sense, though, to do a proper review of the strategic plan instead of what we used to do, which was just approve for the year, kick that can. So, Scott, if you could just collect cost on that.
Yeah, what I plan to do next is go through scope and get a cost and maybe a couple different options
Yeah.
for what that could be. And I think we were talking about something else. I was like, hey, let's switch hats for a second. And I brought up the idea, and she was pretty excited to work with this library again. So,
Great.
next step is just call her tomorrow and say, let's kind of give 1 or 2 or 3 options, scope and cost of that plan.
Yeah, that would be great. Fantastic. Somewhat related. Do you want to talk about what policy map is?
So Policy Map it's software, it's online, or an online website portal, whatever you want to call it, which takes aggregated data from the census, from a bunch of different sources, and then we plug in our data. And what it does is it gives us an idea of where we have library card saturation, what type of people are getting library cards, in other words, where they are economically, household, whether or not they have children, who's using this. And then it actually gives us a physical map of where those individuals are. So I've used something similar to this from when I was in Albany, when we were doing a public vote, and it was really, really helpful in understanding our messaging. So I think this is something that we can really use while we're working on the strategic plan, and also use while we're talking about budget. When we go through all those boards as well. It might be a little bit more than $3,500, but what I will do is have a full write-up for the next board meeting.
That would be great.
And I think I have a really great study where they used Policy Map to decide on when and where for a mobile library. And how they use Policy Map to make those decisions. A bookmobile.
That's annual cost, right?
And that'll be the annual cost. It's also with the idea of once we get staff used to this, and I've also talked to another department who might be interested in using this, that this might be something that moves off the trustees budget and we wrap into our town budget, because there is a component where the public can use it. It's a little bit more. But I think there's a couple town departments that actually might want to use this as well. So I'm reaching out to them to see if this could be a partnership in the future. But I would like, if we do decide to get this, and I think once we see the pricing for the strategic plan, that might help us out with the budget that we already have planned.
Yep.
We can use this tool just to kind of really have a good substantive conversation. At the Friends meeting a couple months ago, we talked about how our numbers are great, but our library card saturation is not as high as we expect it to be, and it could be better. And so this is, I think, something we can also use to really target those neighborhoods, but we're really not getting as many library cards out as we like.
Yeah, I think future usage as well regarding here
Yes.
will be a key.
So I'll get a price for next meeting.
Great. All right, and then Scott, you remember you do on item D, the Margaret?
Yeah, so I didn't want to interrupt. You guys didn't need to add it to the agenda because the Magdalene Fund is D on the agenda. This was given, the background is we reached her.
No, this is a different thing.
No, this is the same.
That's the stock,
Is this
the stock.
this person the stock? I don't know the people's names.
This is not the one we need to create an account for. That's the one that's 330,000 for hearing vision.
No, this is the merchant fund would be for children's. This would be,
Coincidentally, both women were named Meg.
yeah,
Yes.
Oh, really?
That's the confusion there. There's two Megs.
there's 2 Mags.
Yeah.
Lots of threes.
That's right.
Jesus, that's right.
So this is, yes,
Oh,
so
boy.
we only have to make one decision on this.
Meg Lurchin was a children's librarian at the Maine Library.
Margaret Simcoe is the one we need to do it. That's,
Hearing.
But
so we have two.
Vision
This is.
Okay, so then I'm wrong. You needed to add
Correct.
to the agenda. You're
Yes, we
right.
did. Yes, we
Never
did.
mind.
The Margaret threw everyone, okay?
So her family, this came from a family trust. This was over $30,000 in Coca-Cola stocks, which means I've added to that $30,000 during the course of my life. And her son would like it to be set aside for improvements to the children's room and her.
Okay. It's sitting in a separate fund at the moment,
I
I
guess so.
suppose. And that is $30,000 worth, not 30,000 units.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I wanted to, I've asked.
It was, cause that, then we've given it some account, that one. I mean, Aaron, I'll kind of toss to you, since it's already there.
Yeah, let me just figure out from these
Figure-
guys
yeah.
what the Mercer, what they did with it, if they just if it's just sitting
Yeah.
there, we can leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a huge deal,
Yeah.
just something for us to, potentially in a naming convention, we want
Correct.
to be clear on that.
You know, I just want to clarify that there's one account that's called the revolving fund.
Mhm.
And in that account is the restricted portion of the endowments that have restricted, that we can only spend
I thought
interest.
so.
So, I mean, you
It's-
can bunch them all together in a situation like that.
Yeah, I mean, so they're gonna have the same mix.
Yeah, but essentially, like, who's tracking?
You wanna do the fund by
If you want that,
purpose
yeah,
or person, I think you wanna do it eventually by purpose.
by purpose, because that
Yeah.
36,000, whatever it is now, I hope that grows.
What if somebody else donates saying that they want it for the children's,
Right.
Yeah,
We
exactly,
can just put it into the children's fund.
yes.
Sounds like some scam, to be honest. That's a children's fund. I was gonna ask questions about that. So,
Well,
yeah.
to
I
be
think
honest
that's-
with you, that is kind of complicated. 'Cause
What is the
as
special
far as
purpose
I
of
can
the?
tell,
'Cause
I'm the
it's
only
like-
one that
That
has
knows.
that information. And it's kind of like tangled up a little bit, and with the audit that we're going through,
Yeah.
it's kind of difficult to get it all sorted
And
out.
I'm sure some things overlap, and how do you handle that, or if it was for children's and for something else.
Well, it's just like because money's been added to the spending account, the checking and money market from Vanguard, but not necessarily from that
From that,
portion, and it's a little,
how do we track money? that
Yeah,
comes
that's
from
true.
those?
It's not like
And
I,
it goes out.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, that's where the check registry and the reconciliation, like, we should have that in there if there's specific things that are going against. For example, with the, let's just pretend it's this one, I forgot the Margaret's name. But if it was for kids, it would have the, it's coming from the fund. But it should have the fund that it's supposed to come from. So revolving, most of it's coming from revolving.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's on a check registry where, like,
But
what
if
fund
it's,
it's
if
coming
you're
from.
holding which
But-
ones are restricted within the revolving fund, I think we need.
It's complicated,
Yeah, I
I
think we need
just
to-
don't
we
want
need
you
to
to
table this for
further
the moment.
complicate it.
This is a discussion
I
that,
think we have to figure out what our end goal is.
exactly.
And work
This is something that I think actually relates back to the gift acceptance policy that we need to
Yep.
square away, and having a discussion at this moment is kind of a moot point. So with that, is there anything we need to vote on with regards to just more acknowledging Meg Lurchin, specifically Meg Lurchin, not the other Meg, just acknowledging the fund. And then Aaron, just keep us all updated with what you find out from Mercer with regards to the stocks there.
Will do.
Thank you.
And I just throw out there, going forward, we may have to think about accounting for the funds. I don't know how we're doing the accounting, it might be different than we're currently doing.
Yeah, I think that's,
That's a totally different.
yeah, it's all kind of wrapped up into that. We start with just the gift policy.
Right,
Kinda like-
that's the first.
John, we just got a budget passed. Let's take it step by step, okay? All right, so with that, we then move on to our first added new business item, which is the 2025 meeting schedule. I sent that out when I sent my note earlier today. Does anybody have any questions or concerns with regards to that time? We're continuing to do second Monday, except for those that don't allow for it. So with that, do we have a motion to approve the 2025 meeting schedule?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2025 meeting schedule.
Second that. All in favor? So moved. All right. And then our second added new business item is the idea to create a separate account for the, just want to make sure I have the right name, the Margaret Simcoe bequest, which is specifically for materials for the visually impaired. We did discuss last month just how we're gonna spend it. We're not there yet. This is just approval to create the account. With a motion.
I can make a motion, I just have a question, I don't think we have to.
Oh.
Do we have any specific naming convention?
Uh,
I suppose we could, there's no reason we can't change the name down the line, we just name it Margaret Simcoe for now. Then if we decide we're doing special purpose funds, and then it becomes seeing
Yeah.
impaired or whatever we want to tell. For now, I'll just put it in her name, I mean, not in her name, you know what I mean? Simcoe.
yeah, I think.
I mean, you'll see the paperwork too, you and I should both sign
Yes,
the account
I'm
with me.
hoping.
Yes, no, but I'm just
Yeah,
thinking out loud.
I think that's.
I don't think.
I guess we're not in a rush. We're not in a rush to do this. We
The
have,
money is sitting at the,
Money market.
correct,
so it's sitting in money market, so we are missing.
yeah, that's the one thing. Okay,
I mean, I think we just created as such, and if we need to move money around, like we can. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to change it. Even if it's such, we put somewhere that the Simcoe fund is for
yeah, whatever.
visually impaired.
Okay.
That it's, you know.
Okay.
Rather than lose a month of potential gains.
Yeah.
For just something like this.
Alright, so I will make a motion to open another account under the Vanguard and Mercer umbrella specifically for this donation, the Simcoe donation.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. All right, so yeah, Aaron, just let me know, once you talk to them, let me know what you need
Okay.
paperwork
I'll
wise.
copy you into the email.
Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. With that, we've come to the end of the agenda. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Usually do.
Second, all in favor? All right, so we adjourn this meeting of the Board of Trustees for the Fairfield Public Library at 8:22 p.m. on October 7th. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you at the main library next month.